What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, your man's Took Camo. Back at it with another video. And today we're going to be doing my June 2024 monthly check. And for those who do not know, my monthly check is where every single month I rank every single movie I saw this past month, including new releases and movies that other people have seen that I've never seen before, and rank them from the worst to the best. Then it is immediately followed by my overhaul, which is new stuff I got this month for my room, and then also after that, I show off new pictures that I have on my ceiling. And luckily, I do have one. I only have one this monthly check, so yeah. And if you guys were wondering why I didn't do it tomorrow or Thursday, for those who did not know, Thursday is going to be my birthday. And Jackson and Ace are both staying here from they're coming over tomorrow, and they're staying until Friday, so I kind of wanted to film some content with them, and I don't think they would want to do my monthly check with me, so hopefully that makes sense. So, for my list, I have seen a total of 8 new movies, and there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 new releases. All the rest are movies that other people have seen that I've not seen. Excuse me. So with that being said, let's just get into the list itself. So coming in at number 8, and I wouldn't say it's overall bad, I would just say it's meh, it's okay. And that is Despicable Me 4, which, this franchise kind of died, to be honest. I will say it probably has one of the better sequences out of the, newer Despicable Me movies, with that last sequence. There's this one, I won't spoil it, but there's this one sequence, that's all I'll say, that was pretty nice. But otherwise, it's just generic, cheap jokes for kids that are the movie's just generally for kids, and I don't think a whole lot of adults will love this one, to say the least. I mean, I think the animation is still pretty good, and I do overall like the story of them having to move, but it's just a very generic kids movie, and it doesn't really follow up from the first and second movie really well. I think it just is doing cheap laughs for the kids, so overall, if you were wondering what that would be on the toxic meter, toxic disappointment, a C+ or something like that. So, yeah. Coming in at number 7, I have Big Game. So this is not a new release. This is a movie that came out, I think, 2014, 2015, as Samuel L. Jackson, where I bet none of you have even heard of this. But where it's a movie where he's the president of the United States, and his aircraft ends up getting taken over by terrorists, and he escapes the plane, lands in New Zealand in these woods with a kid that is trying to fulfill his destiny, basically, with this I don't know what the term is called, but basically it's a tradition of his people to basically hunt on his birthday. So he eventually stumbles upon the president, and it's about them two trying to survive together to escape these terrorists, and waiting for the president, for the government to find the president, if that makes sense. So overall, it was decent. It's watchable. The main kid, I thought, did pretty good in here. I thought he was really good in it, and Samuel L. Jackson was pretty good too, and their banter back and forth was pretty nice as well. They had a couple I think they got along pretty well. Ray Stevenson, rest in peace, is in here as well, and he does pretty good. And overall, it has a pretty decent amount of people in here. Would I say it's awesome, amazing? No. I would say it's watchable. I think it's a watchable, fun time. And there's scenes in here where you can definitely tell it's green screen. It's a terrible green screen at that. So, Big Game comes in at number 17, at number 7. And it was decent. It was decent. Coming in at number 6, oh boy, this is gonna be a hot take. But it is Twister. So Twister, I watched for the very first time this month because, obviously Twisters was coming out. And I've always seen clips of the movie, never watched the movie fully. So this month, I decided to watch it because Twisters was coming out. And I would say it's decent. But I think there's some aspects that don't really work well. I think the characters are overall solid, but I don't really care for them that much. The performances are good, though. Bill Paxton does really good. I believe Helen Hunt does good, as well as the main sort of girl character, which she has the most story going for her, which she does pretty decent in that. Also has Philip Seymour Hoffman in here in a role where he's way more younger. Way more younger and way more of a different character than he has played in multiple other movies he's been in, where he's kind of a crazy guy that loves studying storms, to say the least. Most of the time, the tornadoes are pretty good with the CGI, but there's also times where you can definitely tell it is very late 90s CGI, particularly with the drone sequence a little bit later on in the movie. So, yeah, overall it's decent, and it has a whole lot of memorable action sequences, though. I mean, the Shining sequence is iconic with that tornado in it, so... yeah, it comes in at number 6. I would give a positive review mostly for this, and I did do a short, review of the movie a while back, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Coming in at number 5, I have Fly Me to the Moon. And this was a decent little rom-com. It was fun enough. Was it amazing or one of the best rom-coms out there? No, but it was still pretty fun. Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson had some pretty decent chemistry in here. And also I enjoyed how they followed the moon theory about them not actually landing on the moon. I thought that was pretty interesting that they did that, and they kind of paid respect to both perspectives, for the people that actually believe that theory and then the people that don't believe that theory. Woody Harrelson has a small role in here, and he's pretty fun as well. It has a really great 60s aesthetic. It really does. I love the aesthetic in here. And yeah, overall it was decent time at the movies. So I would recommend this one, especially for couples. I think you guys would enjoy it. Now, coming in at number 4, I will say, is a great movie. However, I think I would rewatch the one above it that I gave a lower cinema score to more than this one. Well, probably the one after this one, I would probably change the score I gave it originally. I'll still say it was Toxic Goodness, but I wouldn't give it a B+. I would give it an A-. But anyways, coming in at number 4, it is going to be the new serial killer movie with Nicolas Cage, Longlegs. And a whole lot of people were saying this is going to be, this is the best movie in years, or it's the new masterpiece, or whatever. Would I call it a masterpiece? No, it's close, but it is still a really great serial killer movie, and I'm glad they're exploring that genre again, like Silence of the Lambs, Seven, and such. And, Nicolas Cage does really great in here. I'm not seeing him as anything else in any of his other previous movie roles, that's for sure. Micah Monroe does phenomenal in here as the main detective. I thought she did phenomenal. Most of the acting is pretty great in here. Longlegs as a killer is very interesting, and I like when they find all the victims. I enjoy what they did with the hints there. Also, I think the makeup that they used for Nicolas Cage was really good in here, which I heard most people were like mixed about. Like, heard a couple of people say it's good makeup, but then I've heard a couple of people go, the makeup isn't that good. Which, there's moments that doesn't look good, then there's some moments that I think it looks awesome. Particularly when you have the interrogation sequence between Mike and Moreau and Longlegs. Where the movie loses me a little bit is in the third act of the movie, it gets a little too crazy, and they do something where most of the earlier movie is very grounded, I would say. But when you get to the third act, it doesn't feel grounded anymore. It feels very, that won't ever happen in real life. Also, I thought one of the reveals for the third part of the movie was incredibly obvious. I saw it coming as soon as the character of that reveal was there, so I was going, oh, they're going to be involved somehow. But otherwise, it is a great serial killer movie. Lots of Disturb factor in here, particularly with Nicolas Cage's performance in there. The main score that they have throughout the movie is really good too. So Longlegs comes in at number 4. It's a great serial killer movie, but I would probably watch the one above this one. The one above this more. And coming in at number 3 is Twisters. I love this more than the original Twister. I thought this one had way more fun and entertaining characters, which, to be fair, the main character played by Daisy Edgar Jones, I'm pretty sure that's what her name is, she's acted very well. However, it is kind of just the same thing that they do with the first Twister with her character. It's kind of the same character as Helen Hunt's character in Twister, if that makes sense. Glenn Powell is awesome in here. He's having a great career so far, and he's going to become the next big Hollywood megastar if he isn't already. He plays a tornado wrangler in here, and he's awesome in here. I think the actor, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think the actor's name is Javier Ramos. He's in the Heights and not Bumblebee, Transformers Rise of the Beast. He's in here and he plays a role too, which he's pretty good at. There's also, this surprised me because I was going, is that him? Because I kept on looking at his face and going, is that who I think it is? And it sure was. David Cornsweet, our new Superman, was in here, and he plays a very different role compared to Superman, I'll say that. And, this was my first introduction to his acting, and he did really good in here. The tornadoes this time around, I think, are way more better than the first Twister. You can definitely see them as being real. And overall, it's just a fun time at the movies. Yes, there's aspects that aren't really believable, that's all I'll say, but otherwise, it's a great time at the movies, and it was awesome seeing this in IMAX 2 days before it came out in Wednesdays, so that was cool to see it on there. Coming in at number 2, Life is a Mystery, Deadpool Wolverine, if you didn't guess it. Yeah, this movie's awesome. It's guaranteed to be in my top 5 of the year, probably. Either top 5 or top 10, because we still have 6 months... No. We still have, 5 months left of the year. We'll see if any other movies can top it, but this was just great. This is basically... I'll say it... Should I say that because I feel as if it would give it some stuff away? Because it's not overall a spoiler, but it's kind of, it would lead you to... So, I'm not going to say that, but all I'll say is it's it's on the level of Endgame and No Way Home for me with the surprises, because there were a bunch of great cameos in here. I'm not explaining what they are. If you guys are curious what the cameos are, I did a spoiler review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Before this, Hugh Jackman still does phenomenal as Wolverine in here, and they do a great job of writing him into the movie after what happened with Logan and creating this new version of Wolverine that I thought was done pretty well. Ryan Reynolds, of course, phenomenal as Deadpool. Them two's banter back and forth throughout the movie is absolutely hilarious. I haven't laughed at a movie this much in theaters in a long, long time, and I laughed so much throughout this whole entire movie. What other stuff in here? The fight scenes are awesome in here. I can't forget that. The opening sequence in here is probably the best scene of the whole entire movie. It was so cool. And there's also a bunch of other great action sequences throughout the movie. The soundtrack's really good. And overall, it's just a tribute to the early fans of Marvel movies before the MCU, and it pays tribute to them, and it does a great job of that. So, where the movie kind of let me down is Cassandra Nova, which at first she's a really good villain. They did good making her freaky, but a little bit later on, I don't know, she kind of feels generic. So, but she's acted very well, I do admit. Also, even though it doesn't have the best story, I don't think it needs it, because it has a very fast pace to it, and people are going to be overall mixed about the fast pace. I really dug the fast pace, how fast it went, so it definitely helped my movie experience, because it is, I think, almost 2.5 hours long, and it went by really, really fast. So, yeah, overall it comes into number 2. But number 1 was a first-time watch for me, and it was Mad Max Fury Road. So for those who do not know, I saw Furiosa when it came out in May, and loved that. So I eventually got Mad Max Fury Road on 4K, and I watched it, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Do I love it more than Furiosa? That's a tough question, because Furiosa was my first ever Mad Max movie I actually watched fully. So, and I loved that. So I think these two, as of right now, are neck and neck. Mad Max Fury Road was awesome, though. The action sequences, phenomenal. The visuals, amazing. All the performances are really good, even though they don't have a whole lot of dialogue throughout the movie, that being Tom Hardy as Mad Max himself and Charlize Theron as Furiosa. Then you also have some side characters in here, too. You got Nicholas Hoult, which he has a really good role. Zoe Saldana's in here. There's a couple of good roles in here. And also the world building is phenomenal in here as well. For something that is after Furiosa, it does a great job of balancing after that if you see Furiosa first, if that makes sense. So overall, it was just a great action movie, and it's pretty close to 5 stars, if not 5 stars. So I will put it there. All right, so that is the ranking done. Now we move on to my overhaul, which is new stuff I got this month. All right, we'll start with the stuff that I got from the family cabinet. We have Dr. Seuss The Grinch on 4K. So this is the movie that came out 2018, done by Illumination, with Benedict Cumberbatch voicing the Grinch, and it's good. I would say it's good. It's not my favorite version of the Grinch. My favorite version of the Grinch is actually the Jim Carrey version. That is my personal favorite, and that's probably among my favorite Christmas movies of all time. American Sniper, never watched it fully. I've only seen a couple bits and pieces here on TV, but I know it has a CGI baby in there that's really fake. So, When the Game Stands Tall, whatever this is, I just saw it and went, oh, okay, I'll grab it. I have no clue. Wait, is that? Oh, wow, Jim Caviezel's in here. That's what I was going, isn't that him? Yeah, and it is him. So it's a sports movie, so that's all I know. And then also, this is one that I do not have from the family cabinet. I actually gifted it to my mom for her birthday. And, well, yeah, her birthday. And it is a 2-pack of Steel Magnolias and Fried Green Tomatoes on Blu-ray. Some of her favorite movies of all time. I originally gave her the Steel Magnolias Blu-ray for Mother's Day, and it was originally supposed to be a 4K, but Dad ordered the Blu-ray instead, and they tried to start the movie, and it ended up being from another country, so it didn't work. So hopefully that one actually works for both of those movies, and we had the DVDs originally, so I upgraded it for them. All right, let's move on to some of the stuff that I actually got. So, or bought or was gifted to me. So, because my birthday is in 2 days. So, it is the Deadpool popcorn bucket, the skeleton popcorn bucket of one of the variants, and it's really cool. It has a helicopter thing, and then you open the head right here. There you go. And you open the head, and then you put your popcorn in, and yeah, this one's a really cool one. So I'm glad I have this one. Originally I thought it was the Wolverine popcorn bucket, but it's actually the Deadpool one, which this one's really dope. So I'm glad I got that one. Thank you, Mom. I also got this Wolverine cup as well with the skeleton Deadpool variant on top too. So, yeah, it's really cool looking too. So, and it also feels really nice too. Pause. All right. Now, new movies and TV shows that I got, physical media that I got. All right. So, since I talked about it, why don't we talk about this one first? Mad Max Fury Road. I already gave my opinions about the movie and thought it was awesome. So, I got it out in 4K. It was actually a pretty cheap deal too. I think it was like under $10, which is pretty cheap for a 4K. My favorite movie of last year, The Iron Claw. Just as a wrestling fan, it was awesome. And it was very sad, but it was executed so well, and it was such a perfect movie in my mind. And it was acted very well too. It was robbed of the Oscars. It didn't even get nominated, which infuriated me, because all the performances in there by Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and all those guys, and especially Holt McKinley as well. He had a great performance in there as well, and Lily James had some pretty good performance too. So, yeah, definitely should have gotten an Oscar nomination or something like that. Then we got the Wednesday Season 1 Blu-ray. I bought this one, and I saw that was like just $20, which I went, oh, that's a pretty good deal. So I bought it, and yeah, I have it right there. So Wednesday Season 1, I like it, and I can't wait for Season 2. It has a very distinct vibe to it that I really do enjoy. Next up, we got the 4K collection of all the Harry Potter movies. If you guys have been watching my live streams, I've been saying that I was going to get this for a while, and I finally got it so I can upgrade my DVDs. And it's not just the 4K collection, it's also the Blu-ray collection too. So it's kind of a dual bundle because you get both of them. So I got this on Prime Day, so it was cheaper, so that was awesome. And yeah, can't wait to watch all these movies on 4K. And the only one I don't like out of those is Half-Blood Prince, but all the rest of them I like or love. So yeah. And then also probably the biggest pickup I would say out of all these this month, and that is the Halloween H2O 4K Steelbook, which looks absolutely beautiful, I must admit. And then also there's the inside right there. This is a hot take of mine. I know I get a lot of flack for it, but whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of the original Halloween. I think it's very well made, but I don't like the movie. Which I know is a hot take because most people love that movie. But as for this one, I actually really like this one. Would I say I love it? Maybe. I don't know. But this one is very reminiscent of Scream, and it does end the Halloween franchise in a way where it could end right there. So it was a pretty good ending, and it's a pretty beautiful 4K steelbook with a slipcover. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my overhaul is done. Now let's show the new picture I have on the wall, which I only have one. And I know it's not Christmas time, but I just drew it anyways. It's Merry Madagascar, so there's that. But with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this toxic monthly check. Be sure to let me know your monthly checks down below if you would like to. And with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.